Starting the presentation, I would like to apologize in advance if you hear background noises because there are big works in the street. Sorry for that. Okay, so the aim, sorry, of this presentation is to give you information about materials and associated characterization in the context of the qualification and certification of parts produced by additive manufacturing. So we will start by an introduction, raw materials procurement and specification issues, then a few words about qualification of additive manufacturing machines and 3D printing parts, and a bit conclusion. So yeah, so the introduction is split in two parts. The main part deals with metal additive manufacturing process generalities, with the focus on the DED directed energy deposition processes and their benefits, and some examples of IM product at the end of the introduction. So for the generalities, sorry. It's given that the selection of materials is linked to the selected process. It is important to remind the key point of DED processes before going through deeper in the material issues, even if the presentation of Aris has provided some information on DED. So in the sketch on right, we have the two main categories of IM processes. So the power bed technology and the so-called DED or LMD for laser, and the directed energy deposition, DED thermal energy, for example, laser, electron beam, or plasma arc, is focused to melt the materials being deposited. In contrast, power bed processes, which are out of scope of the integral project, lay powder material out in a layer in the first step, and then direct thermal energy to melt the material as a subsequent step. So in DED, the provisions of free stock occurs at the same time as the provision of the focus thermal energy. This is the main difference with the power bed technology. So in the sketch, well, yeah, in the sketch on the right, red cells. Sorry, you can. Oh, sorry. You can go back, Isabel. Yes. In the red cells below, each category describes the main acronym used for each technology. So there are plenty of acronyms. So LMD is for DED process, and generally LBM in the next slide is for is part of the power bed technology. Isabel, you prefer I take the control? No, directly.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You can.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
It's okay. All right. Okay. So, these slides provide a comparison between LMD and SLM process. So, in DED process, the direct energy deposition process, we have nozzle mounted on a multi-axis arm, deposit melted materials onto the specified surface where it solidifies. So the power feeder here, the laser here, and the the melt pool, the metal melt pool. So LMD technology offers a higher productivity than SLM and the ability to produce larger parts. Design possibilities are much more limited. For instance, lattice structures and internal channels are not possible with DoD processes, LMD. So if we have a look on the comparison, which is more qualitative comparisons, for the materials, LMD allows to produce large materials diversity, produce with a large materials diversity, while SLM is quite limited from this point of view. For the parts dimension, LMD is very limited by the handling system, and for SLM, it's limited by the process chamber. The parts complexity is quite unlimited for SLM, while is limited for LMD. For the dimensional accuracy is quite the same magnitude of order. For LMD process, deposition rate is quite more higher than for SLM. For roughness, LMD roughness obtained with LMD is quite higher than for SLM, and the layer thickness is quite the same. Okay. These slides provide the capabilities of main DED processes. So the table on right give a general guide as to the relative capabilities of DED processes used for metal additive manufacturing. So this table does not include all process selection criteria. It is not intended to be used as a process selection, but rather as a general guide, in fact. So before to describe the table, we have to define the parameters presented. So the build volume refers to the relative size of components that can be processed by the subject process. Detail resolution refers to the ability of the process to create small parts. Deposition rate, what we have just seen before, refers to the rate at which a given mass of the product can be produced. The coupling efficiency refers to the efficiency of the energy transfer from the energy source to the pollutant substrate. And potential for contamination refers to the potential of the process to entrain dirt, gas, and other possible contaminants within the final 3D printed part. So, for example, we can see that within the DED processes category, deposition rate is here is quite the same, even if laser DED seems to show lower deposition rate compared to electron beam DED or arc plasma DED. If we focus on the coupling efficiency, electron beam DED and arc plasma DED are much more better than shown for laser DED. This table also provides information about the potential for contamination for HDD process, and electron beam seems to show an higher risk of contamination of the 3D printing part. So the benefits of the DED process, are the new topological features possibilities, the repair of parts that up to now were impossible, addition of functionalities on existing parts with either the same or a different material to be added. No dimension limit apart from the machine size, the chamber, the size of the chamber. Excellent metallurgical quality, at least as good as product manufacturing by casting process. Control of the material deposited, and eco-innovative process such as less material loss, not to process, etc. So specific qualifications of additive manufacturing process from material procurement up to characterization of the final 3D printing parts are required for the generally required for the application in the most demanding industrial fields. So this slide shows a typical example of 3D printed parts. So on left up, we can see a prototype of 316L vacuum permeator for ITER project, for which is the famous project, European project, worldwide project for the thermal, the fusion energy, nuclear fusion energy. This part is produced by LBM, not by DED process, but it's impossible to produce by this part by conventional processes. So additive manufacturing, it's a key technology for this part. And on right up and on bottom, some parts more the complex demonstrator on the right up, made with the famous material titanium alloy TA6-4V for aeronautics, and on bottom DED process for blade repairing or building. It's a single example. So for the raw materials and procurement and certification part, we are going to introduce the certification in of raw materials. I will talk about raw material fabrication with the focus on powder, raw materials characterization, some recommendations regarding handling and controlling of powder, the characterization of deposited metal, and finally, we will see an example of the raw material specification, powder. So feedstock is considered to be the raw materials that is deposited in DED system to build up features and geometries. Feedstock for DED is delivered to the melt pool in coordination with the energy source. We have seen that. Purchaser of feedstock for DED should be careful to exactly specify the materials required and should obtain a certificate of conformance from the feedstock supplier to verify that the specification has been made. So, as shown in the sketch on the right bottom of this slide, there are two types of feedstock: the powder-based and the wire-based. So, like for filler materials used in the standard, in the classical welding technologies, the need of the determination of acceptance test and criteria regards both the filler materials, powder of wire, and obviously the deposited metal. So metal powder plays a very important role in the additive manufacturing processes. And the quality of metal powder used will have a major influence on the mechanical properties, obviously, but this quality can also influence the consistency of layers, reproducibility between different AM machines, the production of defect-free components, and and the manufacturing defect on surface, of course. So a few words on the manufacturing of powder. So metal powders for additive manufacturing are usually produced using the gas atomization process. So on the sketch on right up on this slide, we can see the molten metal feeder on top, which casts in the below atomization vessel, where the molten metal stream is atomized thanks to high pressure neutral gas jets into small metal droplets, thus forming metal powder particles after rapid solidification. So gas atomization is the physical method, the most common process for producing AM powder. This process ensures a spherical powder shape, a good powder density thanks to the spherical shape and particle size distribution, and also a good reproducibility of particle size distribution. On middle of this slide, bottom pictures show a particle of atomized powder taken with the help of scanning electron microscope. And for and up and right picture with several colors on right also shows a particle of atomized powder characterized with the help of electron backscatter diffraction called EBSD. For reminder, EBSD is a scanning electron microscope based technique that gives crystallographic information about the microstructure of a sample, and here we can see the different crystallographic orientation in a grain, in a particle of powder. So raw materials powder needs characterization, and acceptance test and associated criteria for powder analysis focus on properties described in this table. So the first one is the particle size distribution, so-called PSD, which is allow to characterize the grain size distribution. We can see some data for information here, and the methods and standards, associated standards that allow to perform this test. And on the last right column, we can see the impact of each property on the final 3D printing part. So typically PSD and powder morphology impacts flow wearability, which can contribute to clogging and process instability. The grain morphology impacts the final part in the same way that PSD. For density, the impact is the excessive amount of voids, pores, with entrapped gas which can affect the material's properties, obviously. chemicals composition and impurities has to be measured. So it depends on the rose types, of course. Methods are spectroscopy standards depend on alloying elements. And the impact of the chemical composition and impurities so drives final deposition chemistry and mechanical properties, but also weldability. The flowability, which is rheological properties, impact the powder handling from its powder feeder to the working area in the AM chamber. And also contaminants, which are characterized by spectroscopy and that impacts the quality, porosity, and that can form inclusions in the final parts. Okay, so we have in this slide an example of distribution of grain size, giving an example of this 10, 50, and the 90 on the PSD curve for a so-called 10-50 micron powder. So a few recommendations on handling and controlling powder. So upon receipt from the material supplier, powder should be inspected to ensure it is free of contaminants, and a valid and complete lot matching certificate of conformance is present. So it's a classical operation when we receive materials. During storage, powder should be stored in conditioned environments that limit exposure to contaminants, allows especially susceptible to oxidation or moisture, should be stored in a dry, inert or inert gas environment. Regarding handling, powder should be handled in the safe manner that limits opportunity for contamination, for example, cross-contamination with powders used in earlier processing, foreign materials, lubricant, and so on. Because it is possible to reuse powder, and in this case, all powder should be sieved to remove agglomerates and contaminants. And for that, sieve analysis have to be performed, or PSD analysis. And for that particular case, reuse powder is only permissible if its use is agreed in advance between the supplier and the purchaser. And regarding the powder safety, there will be a specific presentation on the 2nd of July on the safety issue, so it is not dealt with today. Okay, regarding the deposited metal characterization, so the materials properties obtained with additive manufacturing processes are unique and specific of this technology due to the small melting pool and rapid cool rate. So acceptance tests for deposited metal mainly focus on the properties to be met after each treatment, such as classical properties, such as tensile strength, determination of UTS, yield strength, etc., hardness, and toughness, and of course verification of material traceability have to be done. So on the plots on right, we can see hardness and yield strength for various materials produced by powder bed additive manufacturing technologies. So the yield strength and hardness of aluminum alloys base, nickel alloys, etc., titanium, etc. So this is this slide provides an example of raw material specification, a powder specification. So we can see what we have just seen before, the product shape described through the granulometry range available, the product description with the trade, the main properties, PSD, achievable mechanical properties of printing part after treatment here. The applications, so in this case, this powder can be used for GED process, but also selective metal deposition, and for several industrial fields. We can see here the chemical composition and typical chart for the heat treatment data. So we have a chart, a tempering chart with in treatment recommendation for obtaining optimum properties. Okay, it's time to talk about qualification of additive manufacturing machines and final 3D printing parts. So before going to the need of AM machine qualification, this slide provides a reminder about the different part of DED system. So the DED system comprises 4 fundamental subcomponents: the heat sources. Most common one includes a laser, but also electron beam or arc plasma. We have seen that. The power can range from less than 1 kWh to 60 kWh or more, depending on the size, shape, and function of the intended parts, and the wanted metallurgical structure for the particular application. The second component is the positioner for the motion device to manipulate the heat source, the substrate, or both. The third is the feedstock feed mechanism. So we can see on the sketch on right. And the fourth is the computer control system. Yeah. So the DED machines and builds up a material layer by layer. So materials is only applied where required to produce a part, add a feature, or make a repair. Yeah. So the definition of machines is given in ISO ASTM 52900 as a section of the additive manufacturing system, including a hardware, a machine control software, a required setup software, and a peripheral accessory is necessary to complete a build cycle for production parts. The DED machine often include hardware and software of different natures to other 3D printing equipment, and even differing substantially among the various types of DED. So what for? Why we have to qualify and verify the additive manufacturing machines? So the main motivation is to improve the end process. Manufacturing process must be repeatable during simultaneous manufacturing of series of identical parts, but also reproducible during the sequential manufacturing of the same parts. As a result, repeatability and reproducibility for a given AM process have to be investigated on finished parts. Then influential or essential parameters of AM process must be determined, such as temperature, laser beam size or power, shielding gas, location of part within the machine chamber, and so on, in order to minimize the effects of driven parameters of the process. So how to qualify the machines? So the AM machine is supposed to be already qualified when delivered to the product manufacturer. If it is not the case, machine qualification has to be conducted. Unfortunately, for the time being, only ASTM 52941 standard specifies requirement and test method for the qualification and requalification of laser beam machine, but it is only applicable for metal powder bed fusion additive manufacturing for aerospace applications. Nevertheless, following principles, guidelines for qualification of machines can be regarded. This is not an exhaustive list, but some guidelines example. So the 3D printing machine shall be installed, operated, maintained in accordance with its instruction notice, usually. Machine manufacturer qualified the machine for some materials grades. That is to say that in case where new materials are used, AM machine is to be requalified. Guidelines about environmental and operational conditions during the qualification testing as to meet the requirement ranges if specified by the machine manufacturer and shall conform to the conditions which are specified by a machine user during production. For example, temperature, humidity, shocks or vibrations, chamber pressure, etc. Power source, for instance, the calibration of laser beam size or profile and laser behavior in general. And in situ controls of manufacturing of each layer can also be conducted in order to better control the important constraints that take place on layers during this type of manufacturing due to extreme differences of states, liquid and solid mainly. Yes, so these principles coming from ASTM 52941 can also be followed when applicable to the DED processes, even if the purely standard specially dedicated to DED process is not available for the time being. So this is an example of influential parameters. An example of the effect of the laser power during manufacturing. So its source can range, we have seen that, in power from less than 1 kWh to 60 kilowatts, or more depending on the size, shape, and function of the intended part and the targeted metallurgical structure of the particular application. So during simultaneous manufacturing of several identical parts, from 3D printing zone to another, final parts are not similar sometimes. This phenomenon is assigned to temperature heterogeneities within the EM machine chamber involving lasers. So in this case, it is necessary to map, to perform mapping of the temperature into the EM machine chamber in order to slave the power of the laser to regulate the temperature. Now, the need of the qualification of 3D printing parts. So obviously, in case of incorrect process parameters, build strategy, part orientation, or poor quality of powder, some typical defects can be observed in the final parts. For example, unmolten powder particles, lack of fusion, voids, cracks, inclusions, poor surface roughness, and result stresses, of course. So we can see this kind of defects on the picture on right. Not for the result stresses, obviously. For the qualification and controls, dimensional control have to be done. External geometry, measurement commonly performed by means of 3D scanners or 3D measurement machines for results requiring low uncertainties level. 3D measurement machine can be used if geometry of parts make it possible and roughness of parts is appropriate. Also, internal geometry measurement are requested, mainly concern thickness, control of part, and some 3D dimensions. And finally, quality control that focus on inner defects. We have some example on the right, so micro cracks, delamination, porosity due to gas entrapped in the final part, and non-melted raw material powder is also possible. Characterization of surface condition is needed. Final parts can show poor surface condition in terms of quite high roughness and porosity. And findings from roughness and porosity measurement shall lead to orient to drive the post-treatment operation to be performed. We will have a presentation of regarding the post-processing later in the morning. Yes, so to conclude, the procurement and certification of raw materials are a key point. So the key powder characteristics are reminded on the right. To reliably produce additive manufacturing parts of acceptable quality, it is important to understand the effect of powder characteristics on the part properties. The three main areas that are important for characterizing a powder are the chemical and metallurgical, the morphological and geometrical, and the mechanical and physical properties. So, and to conclude, qualification, a few words on the difference between qualification and certification. So qualification is generally an in-house process conducted to verify if design, material, or final products meets the specified requirement before going through the validation phase, while certification is generally a process targeting the global conformity of product, with generally the contribution of third-party inspection and certification services. Yes, and this is the main references used for this presentation. Thank you.